Hi everyone, Vigilante Reviews here, and this is Invincible Iron Man number 600. This is Brian Michael Bendis' last issue at Marvel, as he says in here. Okay, first off, I just want to apologize for the bad intro to this video. I feel like I need a little more energy when I start out these videos. I feel like I'm kind of unenthusiastic, and I don't know, sometimes I think it's just the comic. This is my third time trying to film this video, so I'm a little salty about this already. But speaking of crappy intros, count with me now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 word bubbles on the front page from Tony Stark's AI, who's designed to sound and talk exactly like Tony Stark. And we turn the page and we get another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20. 19 and 20. Why? And it's not very interesting either. Basically, this whole book is tying up the loose ends that Bendis left, so that Dan Slott can come in and tell his story. Which is like, okay, Bendis, how long have you known you're going over to DC? Like, this just feels kind of sloppy, honestly. But at least I think Bendis enjoyed writing this. I think he had fun bringing Tony Stark back, and then he brings Rhodey back because apparently he was dead. Who knew about that? So yeah, at least I think he enjoyed that. We get this weird hug between them. That is not a man hug. That's a little something more than a man hug. And then again, with more dialogue. It took me forever to read this book. Which is why I'm so late getting it out. This came out over a week ago, and I'm just now getting the video done. I tried recording it a couple nights ago, and it just ended up not working out. Tried filming it twice, both times. The first time it just kind of crashed, and then I tried it again the night after that, and I was interrupted. So this time I'm really hoping to get this thing done and done. So at least, okay, so he asked Captain Cummings for advice on starting a YouTube channel, and he said try to keep a concise point throughout your videos. So for this one, my point is that while Bendis' writing is certainly, at least on this book, mediocre, at least I can tell he enjoys it and he thoroughly cares about the characters. Whereas, say, like Mark Waid, who is my least favorite writer at the time being, he is such a J. Irk and a lot of other unnice things that I'm not don't want to say on camera. But at least with Bendis, he leaves people alone. He doesn't interfere with comic book writers / artists and publishers, and for the most part he kind of keeps his political agenda to a down low, at least from what I've seen. With like Mark Waid and Captain America, it's all in your face, just all over. Oh man, I think I'm gonna do a video covering the last arc of Mark Waid on Captain America because it sucked. But you know, okay, Bendis, yes, he brings in diverse characters, but at least he doesn't. He's not constantly white shaming and telling his nightmare stories about Donald Trump like Mark Waid. Now that being said, his writing still is very annoying in my opinion. He sounds like it's like, well, because he's a 50-year-old who's trying to write like a millennial, and it sounds that bad. Sorry, Bendis. I've heard good things about your Man of Steel. I haven't gotten it yet, so if by any chance you're watching this, I didn't care for this one, but I'm still getting your Man of Steel run. calm down. So let me just give you an example. So Leonardo da Vinci, apparently the real Leonardo da Vinci, figured out time travel, and so now he's here at the present, and Riri's like, whoa, how are you here? And Da Vinci says, super science. And oh man, shadows. Oh well. Super science? You invented something to make you not die? I discovered how time and space work, or at least how to make them work for me. Oh, and how do time and space work? Well, that's more of a years of study kind of, And is that Blade? So yeah, just kind of very obnoxious to read, very cringy to read, but it is not, it doesn't make me angry. It still makes me want to throw the book, but it does not make me want to burn the book and dance on the ashes. Unlike Mark Waid's Captain America. As you can tell, I really hate his run on that book. And I am absolutely not buying anything Mark Waid, which is really sad. I was looking forward to buying Kingdom Come by him, because I would consider that a classic DC story, but now, no way. Maybe I'll get it once he dies, so that he doesn't get any money from it. But definitely not going to get it anytime soon. So this whole part was just kind of lame. Then we get to more dialogue. And Tony Stark's real parents. So Brian Michael Bendis' shtick is he likes to go back and kind of retcon things, or at least add things to people's pasts to make new stories for the future, instead of just adding new characters in the future, or, you know, in the present for the future. He likes to change people's pasts, which I'm not a fan of. I like to know the past, and I don't like it to be messed with. But obviously Bendis is somebody that does like that and thinks that makes for a good story. So that's what he did here. He brings back Tony's real birth parents, because apparently the Starks just adopted him, which is weird, but it is what it is. And this guy's supposed to be dead, but he's not. Obviously he's alive, so that's okay, whatever. This whole thing I was just kind of like, yep, okay, whatever, moving on, keep moving on. They have a conversation that goes nowhere. Then we get to the best part of the book. So this group of bad guys are trying to take over Stark Industries, and this is the guy who is in charge of it right now. He's still a schmuck, but he's not as bad as like these guys. These guys are actual villains. He's just kind of a dirtbag. So yeah, they're threatening him, yada yada yada, and then Dr. Doom shows up, and everybody's freaking out because like, oh, Dr. Doom, he's dressed as Iron Man, what the heck? Which I never really saw where he's dressed as Iron Man. It still looks like Dr. Doom. He's just wearing an Iron Man suit of armor. Whatever. Moving on. So yeah, this is a pretty cool panel. This whole part was pretty, interesting to read. Bendis is good at writing action. Some writers are a lot better at writing, like deep stories, and not so good at action. Like, well, I can't really, honestly, if you're writing a comic book, you should be pretty darn good at writing action, because that's, let's be honest, that's what the core of comic books is action and adventure. And Bendis doesn't fall short here. He does a good job writing the action. So maybe, hopefully, now that he's on Action Comics, we'll get some good action out of that, and he'll learn how to write stories surrounding action instead of writing action that is surrounded by like story and dialogue and all that. Although I think he said that Action Comics is going to be focusing on Metropolis and Clark Kent. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, yet to be determined. This is the best page in the whole book right here. We have all these different Iron Man suits. Kind of starts at a very retro look down here, and slowly kind of evolves into newer suits. And then we finally get to his current one, I think. I think that's his current one. I don't really know. This definitely reminds me of Iron Man 3, which is one of my least favorite Marvel MCU movies. But this scene was actually, still good. The Doctor Doom and his Doombots kind of get a little overwhelmed by all the villains, so Iron Man comes in with his cavalry, and they all fight together. This page was really cool too. Immediately, like the second I turned this page, I just got thrown back to all the 90s comic books that I have. This looks like a page straight out of one of those 1995 X-Men comic books right here. This art was really good right here in this spot. The last 3 pages were excellent. And overall, just the story was, like I said, this was the best part. So this was definitely the climax, and then it kind of starts to decrease again. I mean, it's still definitely more exciting, way more than that first part. But we get back to the outrageous amounts of dialogue blocks. Again, all they do is wrap up loose ends in a very annoying, obnoxious, roundabout way. Because it's Tony Stark being all witty and, wisecrack and all that, and it just makes for a very long read. And AI Tony Stark, I think I used schmuck the wrong way the first time, but this time, yeah, AI Tony Stark is a schmuck. He does not sound very intelligent at all. So yeah, Doctor Doom takes on this guy. I don't know what his name is, but yeah, we get a nice fight scene. This reminds me of early to mid 2000s Marvel. I don't really have many books from that era, either DC or Marvel, but just from what I've seen, this kind of looks like that era. You guys can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Oh yeah. So we cut from that awesome, action scene to Mary Jane facing off against Tony Stark's birth parents. I really, really, really hope, since Dan Slott just got done writing The Amazing Spider-Man, for 10 years, and now that he's coming on to this book, I hope he realizes that Mary Jane has no place in Invincible Iron Man. She needs to be Spidey, Spider-Man, and The Amazing Spider-Man alone. Keep her out of this. Hopefully Nick Spencer and Dan Slott can work together to get her out of this book and back where she belongs. So yeah, apparently she shoots him, but I mean, he's fine. It's just a shoulder shot. And then Hydra agents come to back up the dad. And then Mary Jane and crew are rescued by none other than Riri Williams. And her armored geek squad. The only cool person on that panel is Miles Morales, and unfortunately he's the smallest person, and he has pretty much zero dialogue. So that is unfortunate, because these weirdos certainly don't have what it takes to take on a bunch of Hydra agents, but you know what, whatever. Yeah. And then he's getting ready to shoot the birth mom in the back, but then Tony comes back and saves the day. I thought it was funny that back here, Tony and Rhodey like completely bald. Yeah. I think because Bendis is bald, he was like, well, I'm going to leave the two most beloved characters from the Iron Man book. I'm just going to leave them bald because I have a nice shiny chromosome as well. Except I don't think Bendis is that shiny. But anyway, it just is kind of funny. You can kind of see where he inserted himself into the book right here. It just kind of made me laugh. Anyway, I don't think there's much more to this book. Very slow read. Definitely don't recommend getting it unless you're a completionist like me and wanted the anniversary issues. I only have one more to go. Amazing Spider-Man number 800, which came out a couple days ago. So once I get that, I should be done with the Marvel anniversary issues. Finally. And then I'll just... I'm going to stick with Avengers for now, at least for a complete story arc. Same with Amazing Spider-Man, same with Fantastic Four. If nothing else, because it's a good deal, I'll be getting 30% off. Well, no, I'll be getting 130% off because one of the books will be free, and then the other two combined, I'll get a discount of 30%. So 130% off sounds like a pretty good deal to me. So might as well pick it up. Avengers is interesting right now, and what the heck, I'll see what Amazing Spider-Man and Fantastic Four are like. But in terms of anniversary issues, just got one more to go, and then I'm done. So yeah, I'm gonna skip a couple more pages because nothing happens. This part was kind of weird, but we end off with well, this girl, she was like looking for Doctor Strange, and she's like, you know, Doctor Strange? Now that is a name I have not heard in a very long time. It's also a name that is not mine. My name is Dr. Anthony Stark. But I am the Sorcerer Supreme. How can I help you? Can I help you, young one? Sorry, I read that a little wrong. The end. Thank goodness. But I will say that Dan Slott has a pretty good spot to pick up, because that does look pretty interesting. Tony Stark as Doctor Strange. That's kind of cool, because, you know, like in the movies, everybody's saying they're basically the same character, and now we get to see that they are the same character. So anyway, that'll be interesting. We get Brian's farewell page. I don't think I need to cover that. That is cool. A cool picture of him and Stanley. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. If you liked the video, please consider leaving it a like. Please consider subscribing. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.